I do think I do need to make a video talking about this, because this is a really interesting situation that I think a lot of people have kind of overlooked and weren't really talking about. Because when you look at like Pokopia's release schedule, this was first revealed on September 12th, 2025. This came out during that September Direct that supposedly didn't reveal anything new, exciting, or interesting. Like so many people tried to call the September Direct a disappointment. They tried to say it was underwhelming, tried to say that like there was nothing new or interesting. Like so many people tried to say the September Direct was underwhelming and that nothing was going to sell Switch 2s, okay? This has been like a pretty consistent narrative for the past 6 months, okay? Was that the September Direct was a huge disappointment and that we needed a new one immediately, like as soon as possible. And that just wasn't going to happen like last year. So people got it in their heads that it would happen like immediately in 2025. As early as like January, people were talking about it. But like again, we're in March now. No new General Direct. We have plenty of Switch 2 games coming out. And what's more, Pokopia has been a massive success. Like, it's very easy to kind of understate this, and I think most people are going to brush this under the rug. But what we were told during the September Direct is that Pokopia was not going to be successful. It wasn't a big deal. It was just an Animal Crossing clone. Nobody cared about it. It just looked very, very boring, and that nobody likes Pokemon, you know? You saw so many people complaining about the visuals and the style, like, oh, no, it's just Minecraft. And now it's actually out. This thing is selling Switch 2s. It's sold out everywhere, and players like myself are coming out and being very clear about this. Yes, this is better than Minecraft. Minecraft is complete slop, okay? It's boring, it's derivative, it's like 16 years old at this point. Notch is a loser, he's fat, he stays in his stupid Great Gatsby house and like pretends to be a celebrity, you know? He's miserable, he's depressed, he's never gonna make another game again. Minecraft is one of the worst things to happen to gamer culture, because that one game was like the only reason for a long time that people believed that Nintendo was losing relevancy with kids. You know, people really thought that Minecraft was going to be bigger than Mario, that it was this cultural phenomenon, that it was like a sign of things to come, and how like gamers would rally behind PC gaming. In a lot of ways, like I think the reason PC gaming developed the culture it did was because of Minecraft. You know, it was because of the streaming. It was because of like the speedrunners. It was because of the culture around it. You know, culture that was simply not allowed to form around Nintendo games because of how much people would like harass and hate you if you tried talking about Nintendo and gaming communities. So, like, Minecraft, in a lot of ways, is one of the worst things that happened to gaming, because it created the illusion for a long time that this was, like, some major cultural phenomenon and some huge deal in video games. But now, you know, after Dragon Quest Builders, after Pokopia, we can safely say that Nintendo is making better Minecraft games than anything Mojang has ever done. You know, they can't do spin-offs, they can't do merch. Like, you know, I straight up did not want to buy Minecraft Steve and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Okay? Like, that's how upset I was. Like, again, like, Steve is not, like, a real gaming icon. Okay? Like, Minecraft is more of an internet phenomenon than a gaming one. You know, it's a lot like FNAF or, like, Undertale in that respect. Like, this is not a game that really succeeds or evolves, okay? It's just a fad. And we're seeing it play out like a fad. And, like, now that we're getting, like, new games that are stomping Minecraft, Minecraft is fading into irrelevancy while games like Pokopia become wildly successful. So it's very, very interesting to kind of see, like, what's resulted in Pokopia. Because we were told that, like, I'm not interested in this, I don't want to play this is disappointing. And what happens? Pokopia becomes a huge hit. And it's not going to stop here, okay? Pokopia is not only, like, selling a ton of units, it's not only moving a lot of Switch 2s, you know, anybody who plays this is also going to get into Pokopia Gen 10 when that launches next year. Okay, that's the thing that I've noticed is that we're now past the point that we can where we can pretend that Switch 2 has no games and that there's nothing on this platform. Like, because Pokopia is so wildly successful and because it's exclusive, like, the dumb, like, narrative that people had that, like, well, the Switch 2 doesn't have anything because Legend ZA and Metroid Prime 4 aren't technically Switch 2 games. Like, people hinged all their bets on this nonsense, on this narrative. They tried so hard to downplay and ignore like every major Switch 2 game, and it was like completely upended by this game that everybody just kind of wrote off and ignored. Okay? Like, the Switch 2 will fail narrative has completely fallen apart specifically because of Pokopia. A game that I think the entire gaming industry kind of rallied behind, rallied against to try and downplay and ignore. Right? Until like 2 weeks ago, nobody thought this was going to be successful at all. Like, nobody other than myself, that is. So, like, again, this kind of demonstrates a lot of things. How out of touch the gaming YouTuber sphere are. How Harmon Smith is right about everything. How popular the Switch 2 is and how well the games are selling. Like, how strong of a brand Pokemon is. Because I do think this has been true since the Game Boy era. And something that the industry doesn't really want to admit. But, like, as long as Nintendo has Pokemon, they are never going to be, like, unable to compete. Because, like, of the way the Pokemon release schedule works, because of how low budget these games are, because of, like, how well organized the brand is, like, Pokemon is just dominating near constantly. Selling like 30 million units a generation now, like not including like spin-offs and all that. Like, what we're seeing is more and more people are realizing that Pokemon is here to stay. It's outlasted Star Wars at this point. Because, Star Wars, premiered in 1977. Attack of the Clones came out in 2002. 30 years, okay? 30 years of, like, Star Wars being relevant until, like, the prequels just completely killed it and, like, only man-children kept watching or caring about it after that. Like, Pokemon has had a better run than Star Wars. It's bigger than Star Wars. It stayed higher quality than Star Wars, and it can innovate more than Star Wars, right? Like, we've seen this a lot over the past 30 years, and it's only going to keep getting worse going forward. Like, Pokemon is dominating, and what we're seeing now is the general gaming community can't acknowledge it. Because I've always found it interesting how we're always told that, like, franchises like Resident Evil or Grand Theft Auto are, like, the biggest in gaming. But the reality is Pokemon is and always has been way bigger than any of that crap. It does need to be spelled out more that just because Pokemon is a Nintendo exclusive, it does not stop it from being the biggest brand in the world.